minutes is going up. Is that okay for you actually
Yeah.
as a group?
I mean, as a forward, everyone wants to play obviously more and more and as much as they can, but it is a unique situation. Last game, Gal and I think played with every single forward on the team, so sometimes a little difficult to get chemistry, but also more opportunity to touch some pucks. So there's some pros and cons.
Is it tough to sustain the matchups during the games with 11 forwards?
Yeah, I mean, I guess on the road it wasn't much of a thing since they got last change, and I guess we'll see how tonight plays out. But yeah, I guess in a way it will be a little bit tougher.
The end of the game in Dallas was total craziness. What do you get from this kind of event? Also, when you win that.
Yeah, a little bit more nerve-wracking than we would have liked. I guess just a different situation. You're not really 6-on-5 for that long in most games, and something that we haven't really been used to since I think most of our wins are late in games or overtime. So it's something that hopefully we have more practice at in games. And when you give up one, you kind of grip your sticks a little bit tighter. So it got a little too close for us, but once that game was done, there was a big sigh of relief.
But how important was it to get out of that game with a win?
Yeah, I think we played really well that entire road trip and played some good teams that they definitely know how to win, and it was a little bit frustrating not getting those results. So to get the 2 points, that game was huge.
Do you feel that as a group you did build something during this road trip?
Yeah, I think the first thing is just there's that belief that we can compete against those good teams and even win those games. I think especially the Tampa game, it could have gone either way. Florida was a tight one till the end, and Carolina too. So, I mean, you're playing some of the top teams from the past few years, and you're going right up against them. And then to beat Dallas, who is one of the best teams in the West, I think gives us that belief that we're inching closer and closer to being one of those top teams.
Thank you.
We got to play a lot too, so yeah, that's nice.
I'm sorry if I'm making you repeat, I wasn't there earlier. The end of the game in Dallas was probably the 6 craziest minutes of the season for your team. Not everyone played. You had a few shifts in this very important moment. How important was it for you to help your team in this neuralgic moment?
Yeah, like I said, I love playing every situation, and I was happy to go out there, trying to do my work. Obviously, they scored a couple of times, but yeah, because I don't know, we're probably used to playing 6-on-5 for 6 minutes, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's all learning, and it was something pretty, pretty new for us this season, because I don't think that happened yet, but yeah, it's good to be out there, get those important minutes, and it helps the confidence, helps the game, and everything.
How nerve-wracking was it? Jake Evans said it was. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just too much like in a game that I didn't even like think about it that way. I was just trying to stop the goal, and I was hoping that whoever gets out there, nothing special will happen. But I didn't have any nerves. I trusted every single guy that goes out there, and that we will do our job.
You're right, confidence is just such an important part of this game. Can you just describe from last year at this point to this year, maybe specifically, what has helped improve your confidence? Because you look like a much different player 1 year later.
To be honest, I don't even know. It's just like the way my game is progressing, I would say, and like obviously playing with two great players helps a lot. And I don't really know. Just there. And I knew I can play hockey this whole time. It was just trying to define my game a little better and better, and it's finally coming together.
Thank you.
Joy, how important is it that Mario
For us, it's all about keeping him level-headed. I think he he takes it pretty hard on himself, and we're just trying to keep him positive. And he's obviously a very positive kid, but he wants to be the best, and that's what we're supporting. And obviously he's been great as of late, and I know he's going to keep that going.
Do you think that he really started to find his game at his level? I mean, you're right.
Yeah, I mean,
The way that he should be at his best.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a lot more in his game that he has to offer, and I think we're just getting started. But for him to have this success right now, it's huge for his confidence and going forward and being comfortable, probably trying more things than he did in the past. So his game's trending in the right direction. We're all pumped to see it, but obviously he's been great for us and our team.
It's January and you're still in the mix for a playoff spot. I mean, it's probably fun to play hockey when it's like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's great. Obviously, our division's competitive. Any team could beat any team any night, and that's what makes it fun. But I think we're in a good spot. Obviously, that road trip, we could have had a couple more points than we came out of it with. But just to be in those games with those teams that are playoff teams, it's pretty good for us and our confidence going forward. But we're still in it, and we're still going to fight for it.
Well, I'm sorry if I missed this, but are the American guys, the chest out at the World Juniors, a little more in the room right now?
Yeah, I mean, we're still in it. Haven't heard much about Gallagher talking or any Doc or Nui, but I know we play at 1:30, and I got Army and Jesse all over me today. But yeah.
Do you put money on the board in this tournament, or is just some ribbing that goes back and forth?
There's some under the table bets between us, obviously, but Gally didn't even give Gally a chance. They got knocked out the other day, so pretty pumped up about that. But we got a big game today.
But there's some boys you beat in this room, USA, Canada,
Oh, yeah.
Edmonton, so you can always just walk over with the medal.
Yeah, I'll do that. They said it was COVID year, it doesn't count, but I disagree with that. They could talk, but they never won one.
Thanks.
Maybe scary. We saw you left the game. You seemed like 100%. What did happen exactly?
Yeah, for sure. A little bit of a scare. Usually, as a player, when those things happen, usually you kind of know right away if something's wrong. Was a little stunned going back to the room, and then let it calm down. And obviously everything was good enough from there. And yeah, just the thought when it happened and the feeling, and your whole leg goes numb. But yeah, I'm good to go.
Was it your right skate that got caught again?
I think it was my right skate. Yeah, it was kind of hard to tell. It felt like he pushed my knee, and then thought it was like MTL, but I don't know. It was a weird feeling. I think it caught a couple nerves, but yeah, it's fine.
So it felt more like knee than ankle?
Yeah, it was more knee. Yeah.
So is it fair to say now the luck really turned on your side?
Yeah, it did. Yeah, absolutely. We've had those injuries before, previously, so sometimes you can diagnose yourself, and luckily I was wrong.
When did you realize that you were okay?
I think it was like 10 minutes once I got the feeling back in my knee, and the strength was there and it felt fine. Yeah, that's when I knew everything was good.
How much of a relief was it?
Yeah, huge relief. Obviously, you never want to be injured as a player, and when something like that happens, you don't have great thoughts. But I'm happy to be healthy and playing tonight.
That was an eventful game for you with the block shot, the puck, on your leg, and then obviously that blade on your face, and then the knee.
Yeah, it was a tough game. It's hockey.
What do you like most about your game right now?
Just playing the right way, I think. I think as a team, we're well connected. Everybody's on the same page. I think right now we're a hard team to play against. We never quit, never give up, and I just feel like everybody knows their roles, and we're all competing together. So we're in every game is great for us, and we got to continue to build this.
Josh, after a long stretch with all the goals, you just called Player of the Month for your team. What is the feeling to come back like this?
Yeah, I mean, trying to, find my game, obviously, and I've been happy with it lately, just doing the little things, right, and starting to get rewarded. So obviously that's nice. But obviously consistency is a huge part of the game today, and just gotta keep your head down and keep going to work.
Coming back home after that long stretch, the team has a losing record here. Being so good on the road, do you think that might have something to do with the team being so young and just guys being together on the road, maybe building some kind of momentum?
Well, I definitely think it helps, build that bond when you're on the road for so long. I know the guys are really excited to come back home and play in front of our fans, and we got to start something here at home, and hopefully get on a run. I know got a tough stretch of games, but we're focusing on tonight and get things started.
Josh, 11-7. For the forwards, obviously it means the additional shift here and there. But do you see a difference as a forward in that formation?
Maybe a little bit. You're probably not always going with the same line, and depending on situations, you could be jumping on with different guys. So it all depends on how you're playing and how the team's playing, and or where the draw is at. For different situations, but we're trying to just get through it together and go out there and compete. And I like the way that our team's playing right now.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, thank you.
Come on.
Bon matin.
Je veux juste vous faire un petit update. Vous avez eu l'update pour Christian Dvorak. Pour Raphaël Harvey-Pinard, le 21 novembre, on avait dit entre 6 et 8 semaines. Il a recommencé à patiner. He's on schedule. Même chose pour Tanner Pearson. Le 10 décembre, on avait parlé de upper body de 4 à 6 semaines de blessure au haut du corps. Il est encore là, en plein on schedule aussi. So there's no changes in Raphaël Harvey-Pinard and Tanner Pearson here. On schedule, starting skating, and everything is going pretty well. Cool.
Martin, Luc et Simon.
Je sais que tu dis souvent que la Ligue continue d'avancer, puis personne ne va être désolé pour les problèmes, les blessures, mais vous perdez un joueur de centre, vous êtes accommodé jusqu'à maintenant. Est-ce que tu vois quand même une situation qui devra être modifiée ou si tu es confortable avec la ligne de centre actuellement que tu as là sans Christian?
C'est du jour à jour. On a des options, là, comme m'en retourner au centre. Présentement, on a 4 centres, fait on est correct. Je ne dis pas que les choses ne peuvent pas changer. C'est du jour à jour, du match par match.
Par rapport à ça, dans le voyage, Martin, Nick Suzuki, si on prend les 7 matchs au complet, là, il est allé chercher presque 22 minutes de temps de jeu durant le voyage. Puis il semble avoir quand même assez bien répondu. Il y a 9 points en 7 parties. Est-ce que tu sens que tu as le meilleur de Nick Suzuki quand tu lui donnes du temps de jeu comme ça?
Bien, c'est un équilibre. C'est un joueur qui va jouer des grosses responsabilités. Il va jouer ces minutes-là de temps en temps. Des fois, il va en jouer un petit peu plus, des fois, il en joue un petit peu moins, mais il est souvent entre 20 et 22 minutes. Côté son rendement, oui, il joue du très bon hockey. Il joue une game de 200 pieds. Il joue la game qui est en avant de lui. C'est un leader.
Je peux me permettre. Penses-tu que Nick, récemment, a fait des petits ajustements quand l'autre équipe avait la rondelle particulièrement? Est-ce que récemment, il a eu ajusté un peu sa game?
Non, mais je pense que Nick, c'est encore un jeune joueur qui évolue. Il y a une évolution dans le jeu à Nick. Puis c'est pas toujours comme ça. Mais tu vois que Nick, son jeu, il augmente. Sa lecture du jeu, puis il est alerte sur la glace, défensivement, offensivement. Il y a une fierté de jouer bien défensivement.
Yes.
Salut Martin. En fin de retour après un long voyage, mais étrangement, votre fiche est meilleure sur la route qu'à la maison. Comment vous pouvez ajouter ça pour jouer du meilleur hockey à domicile?
Non, c'est continuer d'évoluer comme équipe, puis d'amener ce qu'on amène récemment, puis de faire ça à la maison. Je sais qu'on a un bon rendement sur la route, puis il faut amener cette game-là à la maison. Le dernier changement et tout, puis c'est quelque chose de la deuxième moitié de la saison que j'aimerais améliorer. C'est notre fiche à la maison.
Merci. Simon Olivier.
J'ai 2 questions sur Dvorak. D'abord, c'est un gars qui passe souvent un peu en dessous du radar à cause de son style de jeu. Qu'est-ce qui fait de bien, justement, qui va vous manquer? Qu'est-ce qui est dur à remplacer, le Christian Dvorak?
C'est face-off à gauche. C'est un gars qui joue sur le désavantage, qui est capable de jouer sur l'avantage. Il fait un peu de tout. Fait que je pense que c'est pas un joueur qui va remplacer le rôle qu'il joue. C'est d'autres joueurs qui... Monahan, il va falloir qu'il tue un petit peu plus de punitions. Pour quelqu'un qui prenne sa place sur le deuxième power play. Monahan va aller sur la glace plus pour les face-off à gauche quand ils sont importants. Fait que c'est pas une personne, mais Devo, il fait plus. C'est un gars qui fait plus qu'une chose, mais c'est de remplacer ça collectivement.
Sans aucun lien, la fin du match à Dallas, possiblement les 6 minutes les plus folles de la saison pour vous. À quel point c'est important pour ton équipe de sortir avec la victoire de ce moment de grande intensité?
Oui, c'est très important. Écoute, on avait joué 54 excellentes minutes. On a un scénario où on est, je dirais, pas confortable présentement. Mené par 3 buts, puis ils enlèvent le gardien pendant 6 minutes. Je te dis que c'est quelque chose qu'il faut qu'on s'améliore à ça. Je te dis pas que ça va arriver souvent, mais habituellement, si tu mènes par un but, ça sera pas un 6 minutes de pas le goaler. Là. Fait que c'est sûr, c'était inconfortable pour notre équipe. Puis on a un petit peu d'apprentissage, pas juste pour les joueurs, mais pour moi aussi. Puis on va essayer d'en parler, peut-être plus prêt pour ces scénarios-là.
Marc-Antoine, Soukawan et Eric Engel.
Salut Martin. Dans les 2 derniers matchs, vous avez joué 11 attaquants, 7 défenseurs. Est-ce que, je sais que d'habitude les défenseurs n'aiment pas ça, mais de la manière que toi en vertu des joueurs que tu as à ta disposition, c'est-tu quelque chose que tu vois de façon viable, plus long terme, de jouer 11-7?
Je sais pas, mais là, tu sais, on est dans une petite séquence. On a fait ça là, pour 2 matchs. C'est 2 matchs qu'on a fait ça. Puis j'ai aimé le rendement de mon équipe. Fait que, tu sais, c'est dur de justifier de ne pas rester comme ça là, pour le moment. Fait qu'on va voir aussi que ça nous amène. Je te dis pas que c'est à long terme, mais c'est là c'est comment qu'on gère ça aujourd'hui.
C'est plus facile à vendre à un groupe de jeunes défenseurs qu'à des vétérans qui sont dans leurs habitudes depuis 10-12 ans?
Mais je pense que si tu fais ça constamment, je pense qu'il faut que tu vendes ça. Mais quand c'est pas, je pense pas que c'est quelque chose qui va être constant. Fait que je pense pas que j'ai quelque chose à vendre parce que si vraiment c'est comme ça que je veux faire les choses, oui, il faudrait que je vende ça si je fais ça là, match après match. Mais si à un moment donné, si c'est ça qu'on va continuer à faire, peut-être il va falloir que je sois plus vendeur.
Marty, I imagine you had a big sigh of relief when you realized Josh Anderson wasn't hurt seriously. Just what do you like most about where his game is right now?
I don't think it's one thing. I think it's a combination of things. But his pace, I think he's playing with confidence. His touches are better, and he has some physicality that he brings. So I would say it's just collectively, I think he's in a good place mentally. I think you can see it with his decisions on the ice. There's no hesitation. His touches are better.
When he was struggling, I know you said, if you don't give up on yourself, I don't give up on you. Is it a similar situation now with Brendan Gallagher? I know he's in a long goal-scoring slump.
Yeah, I think it's like that for everybody.
Eric, Arpin, et Anthony.
Hey Marty, speaking with Cole, he's talked about the work that you've done with him, kind of getting in between coverage and other things away from the puck. I'm wondering, are there 1 or 2 things that you've worked on with him that you have noticed are starting to become instinctual for him, where he's having to think a little less to execute those things?
Yeah, I mean, to me, like getting on, the routes that you run, and based on if your teammate is in space or he's under pressure, that will change the route that you're going to run. And I think that concept, I think there's less hesitation in his motion on the ice, so to speak. And but I still think that that's going to keep improving. Playing in between coverage, it's an art. And 5-on-5, I see him more doing that. And you see Cole more on the inside too a little bit. Not necessarily being on the inside and staying on the inside, but the motion he has, there's some inside motion now, and he ends up going on the outside after. But you have to get to the inside at some point. Sometimes it's early, sometimes it's on time, but I think he's starting to understand that. And 5-on-5 playing in between coverage, it's an art. It's a lot easier to play in between coverage on the power play. And as a young player, he's just learning to do that. And when you learn that and you do that consistently, you're harder to play against. You usually draw 2 guys to you. That means one of your guys will be more open. So a little bit of a chess game that he's learning.
You've used this term, aggressive patience. I'm still not entirely sure what it means, but I'm just wondering, as a former player, how patient do you have to be, knowing that things that you have to think about turning into instinct, that's something that takes time when you're learning?
It takes time. The aggressive patience, to me, it's what you're doing with that time. We'll talk about it, show video. You can't just it's going to take time. You can't just wait. You got to be aggressive with that time. And that's, you see good example, bad example, we talk about it, you know, and it's a conversation. Like, you know, what's your thought here? Because he, you know, I might see something that he sees it differently, but it doesn't mean we both have. I'm right or I'm wrong, or he's right or he's wrong. It's just you create dialogue, because hockey, a lot of gray in hockey. So you know, so for me, it's that aggressive patience of, like, you know, like working while we know it's going to take a little bit of time. And what do you do? What's the work? I don't know. It could be stuff on the ice. Could be in the video session. It could be a conversation.
It's a couple of times that you've mentioned that was a learning experience for you as well, the end of the game in Dallas. Are you kind of inferring that you might have maybe should have done something different in that situation, or that, I mean, how do you feel you reacted to that situation?
Well, I don't think we coached the 5-on-6, you know, regularly. You know, I think that we have other parts of the game that we've been really focusing on, and I think we're at a certain point in time right now where I'm like, okay, you know, we really have to, not that we never talk about it, but we really have to address that, you know. So for me, that in that sense, it was a learning experience where I felt we could have, you know, done a better job, and it wasn't from the lack of effort. It's probably from the lack of attention that we spent on the 5-on-6, and you know, that falls on me.
And the other thing is, obviously with Christian going down, this is maybe going to get heightened, but it seemed like on the trip that Suzuki line is running great, and it just seems like you're a bit more top heavy than maybe you were earlier in the season, or you hope to be, in terms of driving play and just zone time and stuff like that. Is that a concern, or is that actually a good thing that you have a line going that you can count on every 3 or 4 shifts that are going to be playing in the offensive zone and having the puck?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like, you know, we've played really well on that trip, and I felt that, yeah, I mean, definitely Susie's line was going, but I felt like very comfortable as a coach behind the bench and coming in waves. And, you know, I know, like, Susie's line's gotten rewarded, but, you know, some of the other lines have given us some really good minutes on both sides of the puck. You know, we're not tied in Carolina, and, you know, in the third period. We're not tied against Florida in the third period, Tampa, without, you know, a group effort. Not against those teams. You know, of course you need some scoring and stuff, and you know, and I'm glad that you know, Susie's line is contributing in that department. But there's a lot of other stuff that we have to do as a team to be in those situations. I think I'm getting that from everybody.
Salut Martin. Le trio de Suzuki est réuni depuis un mois. Au fil du dernier mois, dans quel aspect du jeu tu vois la plus grande progression au niveau du trio?
Ben, je te dirais qu'ils sont engagés de deux bords de la glace. Tu sais, puis c'est important, surtout sur la route, quand on n'a pas le dernier changement. Puis même à la maison, j'ai pas peur de les mettre contre les bonnes lignes de l'autre côté. Fait que ça demande beaucoup de responsabilité, d'être alerte pour... il va falloir se défendre des fois. Tu sais. Fait que ça fait partie de la game. Puis ils sont capables de le faire. Je pense que pour avoir du succès offensivement, il faut que tu sois capable de te défendre aussi. Puis jusqu'à date, je pense qu'ils m'ont montré quand même une bonne constance là-dessus.
Jordan Harris, depuis son retour de blessure, connaît de bons moments. Est-ce que tu vois une différence quelconque dans son jeu avant sa blessure versus après?
Non, pas vraiment. Je pense que Jordo, il utilise son patin pour se défendre, il utilise son patin pour supporter l'attaque. Je trouve qu'il joue du bon hockey depuis son retour. Puis tu sais jamais des fois avec une absence comme ça. Fait que non, je suis content. Ça nous amène encore plus de profondeur à la défense quand Jordan joue comme ça. OK, merci.